Chris Connor, you and I are fight aficionados, and you guys know that whenever we talk about, MMA on this show or boxing or anything, I always tie it to WWE somehow or pro wrestling in general, AEW, whatever, right? It's always something to do with pro wrestling. So a little bit ago, Logan Paul, he's on his podcast, and I had the clip bookmarked, but it was like removed from Twitter for some reason. So I just got the quote here. But Logan Paul was on the show with somebody and Big Mike Fox, and he claimed that he's retired. And obviously we knew it was in jest. He wasn't serious. He's obviously long-term with WWE. He's going to do this shit forever. But he is like asked about if he's going to fight again and asked about if he's going to be at Mania 41. And he responded, "I'm retired. I'm a dad, bro," on Impulsive Podcast. And so that's what he said. But then right before we went on the air, Chris Connor, Logan Paul was announced by Adam Pearce as the newest member of the WWE Raw roster. And I wrote, huge move by Adam Pearce. And so he's going to be on the Netflix Raw. And then he went out there and cut a promo about like Floyd Mayweather Conor McGregor wants to fight me. We're going to talk about that in a second. And we're going to talk about how that plays into his plans with WWE and TKO and everything, because they're all under the same umbrella. We got stuff from Ariel here. But, he's like, Conor McGregor wants to fight me. What else did he say? He said someone else's name, Chris, I'm forgetting. I was watching the Netflix kickoff. He's like, oh, yeah, payday from the Paul brothers is whatever, is like a blessing. And he's like, I don't care what any of you think because I'm the guy who does this and you just all are spectators. He's like, Mike Tyson wants to fight me. Conor McGregor wants to fight me. Like, he's like, and I'm going to fight anyone in WWE. Like in WWE, I'm claiming what's mine. I'm doing what I want from now on. And I'm coming to Raw now. And like, I'm going to be on Netflix. Huge move for Netflix. Obviously, he's not going to be there like week to week, but he'll be on the premiere. Like that thing seems overloaded with people that are going to be on that thing. But either way, huge move. What do you think of Logan talking on his pod like a real good carny saying, yeah, I'm retired. And then like a week later, no, I'm going to be on Raw Netflix. What do you think about that?
In other news, water is wet. I mean, we know this about Logan. He is the ultimate, carnival barker. Him and his brother have done this. When he said, oh, I'm retired. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm retired until the holidays are over. Mm-hmm. And then I'll come back. I'll do my usual program. I'll take long time off. Look, W loves having him because he draws eyeballs. He is a guy who you can name drop anywhere. And I'll even say this: more people know who Logan Paul is than Roman Reigns.
Dude,
that's scary, but it's true.
Well, it is true.
So, look, I could see him. It's like, okay, you'll do the Royal Rumble. Probably not. Elimination Chamber, probably not. He'll definitely do WrestleMania. He'll be in there with maybe who knows? It could be anywhere from Braun Breaker to
I was gonna say I could see
he's getting a high profile match.
I could see him being the guy that really tips Breaker over into that babyface role because, like, he can stay the tweener he is, but Logan's such an asshole and he cuts such good promos, and you want to see him get beat up so badly that Breaker could get over like really hot as the babyface. But I could see Logan become an IC champ or a tag champ with his brother. I know Jake's like, no, I'm a real fighter, but we're gonna see Logan and Jake tag team against someone at some point.
Paul does it. I think he wants to get a big world title fight, but Logan's back. I mean, as I said, everything's on the table for Logan. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to do a feud where he finally turns babyface against Dominic Mysterio, or Dominic turns babyface against Logan, or hey, it's Dom and Logan for tag team titles.
Yeah,
WWE's going to do whatever. WWE will basically go, well, all right, whatever you want, we will do, because he is money and he prints it for them. So he is back. He has the Roman Reigns schedule, and if people don't like it, well, that is life, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he's a draw, and he's great at what he does, bro. Like in the ring, like outside of the ring, he's a piece of whatever. In the ring, he's God damn, he's a spectacular athlete, and his promos are so good. Speaking of his promos, he calls out Conor. He's like, Conor McGregor wants to fight me. So randomly yesterday, Conor's, tweeting all this stuff about I've been falsely accused. Of course, for those of you who don't know, Conor's been found liable for, don't say the words, Chris, but how do we say it YouTube friendly? He SA'd a girl, essentially, is what he's found liable
he's
for.
basically he's been accused of being like Mike Tyson, except unlike Mike Tyson, he ain't going to jail. So
okay, so
you can fill in the blank.
There you go. So Conor McGregor, all of a sudden last night, says he's in talks for a boxing exhibition with Logan Paul in India. Okay. So McGregor says rumors of a UFC return fight with Ilia Topuria are false, and Topuria would smoke Conor. Like that's not even a fun fight. I don't even want to see that. Conor will get absolutely destroyed if he fought Topuria. But Conor says the rumors of a bout with Topuria are false. I can't do a good Conor. I am in preliminary agreements with the Ambani family to face Logan Paul in a boxing exhibition in India. No one wants to see that. Logan's like 100 pounds heavier than Conor McGregor, bro. No one wants to see that. And of course, I'm being exaggerative for entertainment purposes, but like he's way bigger than Conor McGregor. I will then seek my return to the octagon. So after Conor's craziest year, like, I don't know. Again, I don't like accusing people, but everyone's basically saying Conor's just been coked up and rampaging this year. Okay. And Roadhouse came out and all that this year, and he's supposed to fight Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler even showed up on a Raw to be like, yeah, Conor, let's go. And then nothing's materialized. However, though, Conor McGregor and Logan Paul are both under the TKO umbrella, so why they have a vested interest in why not let these two fight an exhibition in India if we can get some money? Or do you think that's obviously McGregor and Paul are both bigger than the UFC or WWE themselves? Do you think they'll allow this to happen, or do you think this is just a farce, or do you even want to see this fight?
He's in a weird place, Conor. TKO doesn't want to let him go. They don't want to. They don't want him to go to PFL, do pay-per-view, buys, and have him lose money out. They're not going to let him do any of the Paul fights because it to them is just we're splitting money. We only want to get a percentage of it. But he's not reliable right now, and they don't know what to do with him. So,
but do you even want to see this fight personally?
Me, no. Sickos, of course. Casuals,
who do you think will win? Who do you think would win this exhibition? I mean, nobody, because it's an exhibition. But like, as far as technique wise, who do you think is the better
Jake Paul
show?
destroy him. Jake Paul is a trained boxer.
But this is Conor though. Conor versus Logan is who the fight is. I might have said Jake before by accident, but Logan.
Even Logan. Logan is a much bigger dude than Conor.
He's way bigger, bro. It's ridiculous. So what do you think them both being under the TKO umbrella, Logan and Conor, do you think this fight goes down, or is this just a farce?
No.
So why is Conor talking about it then? And why
because Conor loves to keep his name in the limelight. I think if Conor had his way, he would do an heartbeat. But Dana White is not letting any of his guys do any crossover, because once you let Conor do it, well, now you've opened the floodgates. Now, next thing you know, Alex Pereira wants to box Anthony Joshua. Hey, I deserve a big payday. Or what? Even better yet, John Jones versus Deontay Wilder. They've been clamoring for that. I mean, once you open the floodgate to Conor versus Logan, everybody's going to ask for it. Everybody's going to start demanding that.
Well, and that's, of course, like the beef with Francis Ngannou. And Dana White recently said in this last press conference of the year after the last UFC fight night there, he said that, he's got something in the works for 2025 that like even we won't believe. Like it's something that we wouldn't think would happen. So my prediction is either Francis Ngannou, they've worked something out, or Jake Paul in the UFC. I could totally see Dana folding and doing that, because with the monies the Saudis are throwing around, I just think they're able to talk people into these crazy things. But India, why India? Like, how does India pull this off, and why there? Like, why is he so specific about that? If you had to guess, and if it's a farce,
I just don't know. I mean,
it's so weird. It's so weird.
Here's what I heard from somebody bunch of MMA friends. The plan or the goal long term would be Conor McGregor versus Paddy Pimblett. They want that fight. It's the changing of the guard. Paddy can be, he's already a big hot commodity right now. He can be like then the face of a UFC. He is a Dana White supporter right now.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest? I think Conor smokes Paddy Pimblett right now. Still. I think Conor smokes that guy. I don't know why. I just don't think Pimblett is nearly as good as people think he is. Just me watching him fight. I don't know. Or it's not. I don't think it was even about him being good. It was just the hype behind him. And I just think he needs matchups or else he struggles already. And I know Pimblett's getting better, but he also gets so huge between camps, and I just don't think like fighting to him, he's already like, oh, I'm making money. Like, it's just not good for those young guys. You got to be hungry. That's what makes people like Conor, like his rise was so great, the greatest ever in the sport. Or like an Anderson Silva, he was contemplating retiring, and then he goes to the UFC and is the greatest of all time, you could argue. That makes people great. Pimblett's getting $1 million deals before he even gets in the octagon. It's like you don't even the hunger's not there, and to me, I think Conor would smoke him, in my opinion. But hey, that's just me. Anyways, though, moving along here, Dana White. So this is what Ariel had to say. Like his theory wasn't, so this is, let's play an X-Files, okay? But Ariel Helwani, right, noted WWE shill. No, I'm just kidding. That's what they all like to say, though. He apparently thinks that Dana was alluding to McGregor versus Paul in the UFC, Logan Paul, because again, the TKO umbrella, and it's like, I don't know. I think Logan's so big. How do you make that happen? You make Logan cut down and then let Conor bulk up. That's just, those matchups are weird. But I don't know. Ariel with his big old nose there, and Ariel does know. Ariel knows, right? And I love Ariel, by the way. But he's alluding to, hey, this could be Conor versus Paul. They're both under the TKO umbrella in the UFC. But then Conor just comes out and says, oh, no, it's a boxing match in India. So it seems so far-fetched and weird. It all seems weird. I think Jake Paul and a PFL crossover, because I think PFL is going out of business. And people are telling Dana, like, you should buy it and stuff. And he's like, what? What am I buying? And you have, like, Patricio Pitbull begging to get out of his contract. And you have all of that. So all I'm saying is that if Logan Paul is going to take a fight, it's going to be against a Conor or a Mike Tyson. It's going to be some freak show. Ariel might be onto something here. Ariel knows. Shout out the Helwani show and the boys in the back. Let's take a listen to this. Chris Conor.
On Saturday, at the post-fight press conference in Tampa, Dana White alluded to the fact that he had something in the works, something big up his sleeve for 2025. In case you missed it, here's what Dana White said.
I anticipate a lot of big fights. I got something in the works right now. I'll drive you crazy. All you guys will be running around. I got something in the works that you will never see coming for 2025. That literally started to come together last night. And we got some fun stuff coming up.
Was Dana White alluding to that fight? No idea. I have not talked to Dana, believe it or not, as of this morning. Maybe we'll talk later today. But I do not know. This would certainly qualify as something kind of out of left field that people would get worked up over. And so that's where things stand. Oh, by the way, Logan Paul reacting on social media with this. Some eyes.
Yeah, so Logan Paul responded with some eyes about this exhibition in India. So maybe UFC co-promotes this exhibition match, and maybe it's they promote it in India. Like, hear me out. In India, they promote it as like UFC versus WWE for their media. Like, you know how they get down in India, bro. Like, Great Khali shows up for Jinder Mahal. He grabs the belt and holds it up. Like, right? Like, Jinder hands him the title for 1 second so the Indian media can get their picture of Khali holding the belt again. And there were headlines saying he's back in WWE and the champion and all this. Like, they do crazy out there. So, this could be UFC versus WWE in India, and they sort of pull off this thing as maybe see how many eyeballs they can get on it before they actually run with it in America, where they got to try and fill a big building or something. No,
as Marcel said, Dana White will never allow sideshows in the UFC.
UFC.
He
but
will
in India.
It's still the UFC. To him, like they were dragged, kicking and screaming to the Floyd Mayweather fight, and they got that because they knew it was 4 million pay-per-view buys. It was
right, and Dana took half the money. Dana took half of Conor's money for that too. Right.
Yes, so that was like, okay, we can't pass that up.
Yeah,
this is not on the same level, and ever since the Conor versus Mayweather fight, everything with Conor has gotten much more difficult. Look, I think there's a better chance of Ronda Rousey coming back to the UFC. we laugh, but I mean, if Dana, I could see Dana going to Ronda, go, look, just one more final fight. We'll give you somebody like a Juliana Pena, maybe Misha, 3, 4, just to find a way to say goodbye. Like,
she could be the co-main. She could be the co-main on this India card, WWE versus UFC, bro.
He won't do it.
Dana also said that he would never co-promote. In fact, the reason Fedor Emelianenko never came to the UFC is because Fedor's one demand was, okay, you can give me this money, whatever, but it's got to be UFC and M1 Global, like co-promote whatever fight Fedor's on. Right. And and to Dana's credit, he's like, no, M1 Global, like that's some dead thing that like who gives a shit about that. However, Dana allowed the Saudis to co-promote something he said he'd never do. It was like the Saudis and UFC present UFC Noche or whatever at the Sphere.
But let me jump in.
Yeah.
The Saudis don't co-promote. It's like lending the name out. The UFC goes, okay, we'll take that.
But Dana said he'd never, right, co-promote's not the right word. I'm a noob. You're right. Thanks for checking me on that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, they wanted it to be UFC and M1 Global present. So the Saudis were literally like Riyadh season and UFC present for UFC Noche. Dana said he'd never do that. You don't think that in India he'd be willing to go UFC and WWE present this freak show in it? Okay, all right, because on Netflix, they do it in India to 90,000 people on Netflix, bro. You don't think so?
Nope. And I'll tell you why.
All right.
And because this has been explained to me by several people.
Yeah.
Dana does not want to get involved with pro wrestling. He has tried hard to make UFC as, hey, this is real. This is not fake. This is not scripted, no false finishes. Pro wrestling is wrestling, that's fine, but this is real. If he gets involved, you start worrying about blurring the lines. Like, okay, so this is scripted. So when is next thing going to be scripted? Is UFC scripted? Oh my God, they're going to fix this. There's a better chance of him becoming a boxing promoter and start, doing his own boxing stuff on the side.
Yeah,
he's been adamant about it. He will not do it. He doesn't even want to do PLEs. And you and me have talked about to talk to people like he is being in it. They've tried dragging him, kicking and screaming to do PLEs, and he's like, nope, it's pay-per-view. So
yeah.
Look, as I said, I think next year we get John Jones versus Tom Aspinall.
Oh,
I wouldn't even be surprised if he's working on a way to get Pitbull in there against Paddy Pimblett. Hell, as I said, I still wouldn't rule out either Brock Lesnar coming back. That's that thing. If they could, they would make it. That's more Brock's family going, no, we don't want you to fight. Yeah. Or Ronda Rousey in a retirement fight. She just finally goes, all right, I'm going to do one more fight. Let's do Misha Tate and Ronda because they hate each other. and Ronda rides off into a sunset with a victory, and she can.
You know what the beautiful part about what you're saying is, though, Chris, is that all of these people are under the TKO umbrella that you're bringing up. So it could happen. I could see a co-promote, maybe not with WWE, but I could see, I don't know, man. They show WWE superstars all the time. Rob Van Dam got a pop at the UFC. I think it's more, we're seeing more of it. And as Dana gets phased out of the company, I'm scared for when Dana leaves UFC. I really am.
On his Instagram, his story, by the way, he did that. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Nice little background. I guess he has a good team behind it. But there you go. He's reacting to it as well. Reached out to some more parties, and as of now, everyone is quite tight-lipped. But I can tell you that there is validity here. Does it end up happening? Does it come to fruition? This isn't just a thing that is pulled out of nowhere on a Tuesday morning. And the Jake stuff is interesting as well.
Yeah, the Jake stuff is interesting as well.